Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on my friend won a tournament. Once a year my chess friends and I play a tournament together. It is a tradition that goes back many years. The first tournament we played together with a current group of friends was in Italy in the year 2000, and this year 2022 we played in Faaker See in Austria in Europe. My friends are very strong chess players, much stronger than I am. Most of them play at master level. And sometimes one of us wins the tournament. The last time that happened was in 2018 when international master Dharma Cham won a tournament in France. And also this year, 2022, one of us won a tournament. It was the Dutch international master Hans Klip. Hans has always been a bit of a half-god to me, as he once made a draw against the great Viktor Korchnoi, probably the strongest player never to become world champion, and it was an official game. Hans is a very nice guy, always very generous with his time to analyze my games with me, which by the way is the best way to improve at this game. Analyze the game directly after having played it with a stronger player. Anyway, Hans won the tournament in Faaker See with 7 points out of 9 games. He scored 5 wins and 4 draws, and I will show all his wins. The final stages of his first 4 wins in this video and his win against Grandmaster Vladimir Okhotnik in the next video. Let's get into it. In the first round, Hans had the white pieces against Walter Rusek, who had a rating of 1730. Let's have a look at what happened in the opening round. Hans has just played knight h3 to get the knight out of the attack of the h-pawn, and here black castled, and what he really should have done is take on f3 first and then castle. That's what the theory says. Castling is not a very good move. Knight e5 is strong, and bishop takes e5 is also not very good, because after this white will get a strong attack for free. He does not have to sacrifice anything. Hans recaptured, attacking the knight, knight d5, and there comes the queen into the attack. Hans writes that queen h5 would also have been very strong. But queen g4 was played, king h8. Hans writes that f5 is the best move here. But after king h8, queen h5 came, and the threat is now bishop takes h6. That's a very strong threat, so black played f5 now. Bishop takes h6 came anyway. And if you take the bishop, there's queen takes, king g8, and Hans had planned here to play c4, a very strong move, to kick the knight away that is covering the e3 square. Knight b4, for example, and then the rook lift, rook e3, and the rook will swing over and take part in the attack. So that if black takes the bishop on h6. That's not what black played. He played knight 7 to f6. That knight was taken, knight takes, and now both white's queen and bishop are attacked. So black hopes to get the piece back that way. Hans saves his queen, g takes h6, and queen takes check. White is a very strong attack against black's exposed king. King g8, there's the rook lift again, rook f7, rook g3 check. You cannot interpose the rook because of checkmate in one move. So knight g4 is the only alternative, was played by black. And with f3, Hans attacks that knight that is pinned. And here black played rook h7 and resigned straight after making that move. Hans was still deliberating if he would take on e6 with check or if he would take on g4. And you really cannot recapture because then the rook on h7 is hanging. A quick victory in a raging attack, a nice way to start the tournament. Now let's look at what happened in round 2. In round 2, Hans was black and he played against Joseph Gallop with a rating of 1868. We had a Dutch defense, and this is the position after the 7th move from black, queen d8 to e7. Here Hans writes that queen b3 is the best move, and then knight back to d8, white castles, and black kicks that knight from g5 away. That's a normal continuation. But in the game, white played a tactic. He took on e6, and that is a bad move, not because that piece is just hanging there, because after bishop takes e6 there is d5, and white will get the piece back. Well, not really, because here you can either take on d5 with the bishop or the knight. Let's show it with the bishop. And then bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. It looks like white has got his piece back. But the bishop on f4 is in trouble. And with g5, bishop g3 and f4, you can win that bishop because the e-pawn is pinned. Hans had missed this. After d5 he did not take on d5, he played bishop d7. And white regained a piece on c6. Bishop takes and black is very comfortable here. But look at this. White played castling on move 11. If you want to put the video on pause and see how Hans now immediately finished the game, have a look for yourself. It is very easy. Hans writes that the excuse is for white that the game was played at 9 in the morning, so maybe white was not fully awake yet. But here, queen e4 was played by Hans, and that's a double attack. Checkmate on g2 and the loose bishop on c4, and here white resigned after only 11 moves. There's no shame in losing against an international master, but this was a bit embarrassing. Only 11 moves. So Hans had a very good start. 2 quick wins in the first 2 games. Let's see what happened in the next round. Hans' Klip was white and his opponent was Georg Kwodzek with a rating of 1981, and black played the Caro-Kann defense. This is the position after the 22nd move from black, queen h5 to e8. That queen was attacked there on h5. And Hans makes the very strong move, knight takes d5, and he writes the game is over already. It's clear that black cannot take on d5. Why not? Well, we have a mate in 1. So after knight takes d5, black played g6 to get the mate threat out of the position. Knight takes f6 check, rook takes, and now knight e4, very nice move. Attacking 2 pieces, and the rook has to keep protecting the bishop, so rook e6 is the only move. But now we have a second double attack, d5, and now white will win material. Very elegant, knight e4 and d5, and here black resigned on move 26. And a third victory for Hans. 3 quick wins in the first 3 rounds. His tournament had started very well. In round 4 and 5, Hans made draws against 2 strong players. Let's see what happened in round 6. Hans was black in this round. His opponent is Franco Privitera with a rating of 1961. We had another Dutch opening, d4, f5, and then h2, h3 on the second move from white. And this is the position after the 16th move, e3 takes d4. Here Hans played e5, and now the bishop is attacking the queen. What strikes in this position is the exposed king on e1. The black king is much safer than the white king. Here white could have played knight e3, counter-attacking the black queen, and then the queens can come off the board. But after bishop f3, black has a very nice position. White did not play that. He did not play knight e3. He saved his queen, queen g2. Hans took on d4. And here white castled queenside, trying to find some shelter for his king behind the queenside pawns. Bishop e6 developing. Knight d2. D takes c3, b takes c3, and queen takes a2. And white wins a pawn back on e4. White is only a pawn down, but he's completely lost because of the very exposed position of his king. The king could not find shelter after all behind the queenside pawns. And also black's active pieces are hovering around the white king, which makes the situation worse for white. Hans played queen a1 check, king c2, and a very nice move bishop b3 check. That is a master move. It is a skewer, so you really have to take, and then the rook on d1 falls. And here a funny moment happened. White played bishop f1 to c4, like this. And that is check, and a discovered attack from the rook on h1 on black's queen. So white must have been very excited, because he's going to win this game. He's going to win black's queen. But Hans, after bishop c4 was played, had to point out to his opponent that that move is illegal because the white king is in check. Black apologized and then played king b2, queen a4, queen g4, And white has a threat. Knight f6 check is the threat if it was white to play, and then the queen on a4 falls. And white will win black's queen after all. But that is the threat after queen g4. Hans saw that and just played king h8, getting the king away from the knight check. Bishop g2, knight e5 attacking the queen, and knight d6. And here, after making that move, white resigned. He's going to get checkmated. You may again want to put the video on pause and look for the checkmating sequence. It's not very difficult. Hans could have played knight d3 check here, king b1, queen b3 check. The king has to go in the corner, and this is checkmate. Round 7 was a draw, and in round 8 Hans had the black pieces against the French-Ukrainian grandmaster Vladimir Okhotnik. We will look at that game in the next video. A quick look at the results in the first 6 games. 3 wins to start the tournament, 2 draws and another win. A very nice way to start this event. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.